Now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone from wherever you are logged on around the world. You are highly welcome to this epoch call, the biggest call of the year for us in Nigeria, Africa, the UAE, Europe, Israel, and many more. And I'm honored to be your host tonight on this Sunday night leadership training webinar. I am Joy Osegale, an ambassador with Global World Trade Corporation. Now, this call, as earlier stated, is one of the biggest calls for the year because we have our amazing CEO, founder, visionary, and the creator of the Forensic Networker Training, MLL's University, Mr. Ramin Mesgalo. And Mr. Ramin has been in the industry since age 19 and he became a millionaire at age 25. And at age 36, he founded the Global World Trade Corporation. And recently, he got awarded with the world's wide who is who of executive and professionals award. Wow, I'm so excited, and I know you all are. Right away, I'm going to be bringing on our amazing CEO on the call, Mr. Ramil. Are you there, sir?
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you, sir. Wow, the call is yours now.
Thank you very much. If we run into quality issues, let me know so we can try to correct that. This way we have a good line established. I am on Wi-Fi. We should be okay, but if there is an issue, let me know right away. We'll try to correct it. Well, good evening, Africa, Nigeria, wherever you're logged in from. I believe a few countries are logging into this right now. It is my absolute pleasure to talk to you. Let me tell you why. That's because at heart, my DNA is still I am a distributor at heart. I'm still a soldier on the field because I came from the field. I spent 14 years on the field. I built 4 multi-million-dollar business as a team leader. I built teams over 100,000 people, 14 years as a team leader. I know what you go through. I was there. And I also know that there's always a big gap in companies between the corporate team and the leaders on the field. Because generally, the people who lead these companies, they never really had any success or even experience in MLM as a leader. There's just some hotshot Harvard guy or somebody who has education in business, but they really have not built anything. So there is this big misconnection between the field and the leadership in other companies. And I was part of those companies where we saw a completely different way of moving forward than the corporate team did. Well, not here, because I was there. Today, I don't want to give you any training. We already have the best trainers in the world. You guys got the best leaders over there in Nigeria, wherever you're from. You know what? We have some of the best systems. This idea of network marketing, this business of direct sales requires ongoing training, but you don't need to know 6,000 things to be successful. You really don't. You need to know about a dozen things and do it 6,000 times, and now you'll be successful. This is no different than anything else. The late Jim Rohn says, you know, only about a half a dozen things. About a half a dozen things make about 80% of the difference. So you don't need to be a real select business person, super sales, person that he can sell sands to the Arabs. You don't need to be any of that. You could be you with an open mind that's willing to learn and understand our system. Let me tell you what you got to be. You don't have to be a master salesperson, a master closer, a master anything. You have to become the master of our systems. That's all. All the work is done for you. All the technical work is done for you. All you need to know is how to utilize them like you're doing right now on this call. If I see that there is more people logged into this call than there is on a regular call, the call last week or the call next week, my question is why? You shouldn't be on the call because I'm on the call. You should be on the call because that's a system that's going to get you to success. You should be on the call because that's the system your people need to get to success. It's not about me being on the call. It's about the system. A system duplicates. And once you start that in this business, because we're in a business of leverage, what that means is that we get paid not just on our efforts, we get paid on other people's efforts. So that means that we have to help them become successful first. And by doing that, how we're going to do that, for the vast majority of us, we don't have experience in this type of business before, so we need the system. So you're on this call now. The importance of this call is not because the CEO, the founder is on the call. The importance of the system, because this call is that you have a system in place that's placed for you by the company and by your leadership, and that you can utilize to create duplication, the flow of information directly from the top right to the brand new person who launched the VDM yesterday. What a phenomenal system that is. I mean, how wonderful is that? When I was building on the field, by the way, there was no internet back then. Maybe I'm aging myself. The only one we built was around the conference call. And those days, you know, the telecom wasn't the way it is right now, that is cheap. Those days will cost us $2 to $3 a minute to do conference calls, and we did hour-long conference calls. It was cost of doing business. Today, look at it, it's free. Just log on, click, boom. If you don't have a computer, call from the phone like I'm right now. Use Wi-Fi, it's a free call. So if you become master of the systems, you cannot, let me repeat, you cannot fail here. But if you become an expert in your own mind, and you may be an expert, and you decide you're going to do it your way, you're going to teach your people your way, the challenge you're going to have is that, I wrote in forensic, systems duplicate. You don't duplicate, but systems duplicate. People cannot be you. People cannot be Ambassador Comfort. People cannot be Ambassador Razak, Kafina, Hova. People cannot be them. Good news is they don't have to be them. They could be themselves and follow a system, a company system. So this call right now, the importance of this call, congratulations to be on the call for utilizing the system. And you passed it on to your team to be able to utilize the system. Not because I'm on the call, because you're going to do it again next week. Because you did it last week. Because this is how you're going to, that's the instrument you're going to use to get the information directly from the top leaders or the corporate directly to a brand new person who just launched their VDM today, and boom, they have access to the best and the greatest. How wonderful is that? So today I'm not going to give you any training. I'm just going to have a locker room talk with you. I love doing locker room talks because let me tell you why. 90% of success is not the how-tos. Of course, we have to know the core principle. We have to know what type of business we're in. We have to know some of the core basics of the business, and we have to know it extremely well. Remember, knowing a dozen things, doing it 6,000 times. That means the reason why you have to do it 6,000 times so you become really fluent at it. So you have to know what your business you're in. You have to know basics of the product and the compensation plan and all that. That's not a lot. But by utilizing every single day, doing it, over and over and over again, that's what makes you successful. So 90% of success is not the how-tos. You can get that. Just go to a YouTube channel, contact your local RA, or go to My5, get doing these systems, this weekly calls. All the information is there for you, readily available to you week in and week out. You can have direct access. Our Facebook accounts, everything is available to you. But 90% of success is not the how-tos. That's already there for you. It's why. It's why you should do it. Okay? It's why you should do it. 90% of success is the why. It's not the how-tos. The how-tos is easy to get. Every library in the world has every type of information you want. If you want to make a rocket ship to go to Mars, there's books for that. So the question is not the how-tos. That's easy to get. We have that ready for you on a silver platter. On the click of a button, it's there. The 90% is the why, and that only comes from you. You're inside you. This call today, it's not about training. I want to give you some of my DNA. I want to pass on some of my DNA, some of my mindset. I want you to pick a little bit what Ramin is about. I want you to understand how Ramin can go, getting up one day, having a pity party, which I talk a lot about in forensic, for a whole weekend, just sit there in a pity party. And you know, when you have a pity party, no one comes to your party, does it? You're always alone, right? You let show up only when things are great. And all of a sudden, I was fed up. I decided to start writing. I wrote for about 32 hours straight. And what came out of that was a blueprint of global wealth trade in 2005. So what gets one person to do that, especially when he didn't have to? I didn't have to do that. I had multiple great offers from corporations. My life was pretty good. I had my homes. I had my cars. You know what? I wanted more out of life. I launched something in my home just like you are now. I launched this. It was in my home office. I didn't have an office. I didn't have staff. I didn't have fancy anything. Everything you see today, I had none of it. All I had was some circles on a piece of paper. Lots of papers, and lots and lots and lots and lots of text, which I wrote and wrote and wrote. Then I had a plan. Now I need to call people that I know to tell them what my vision is. This call is about that, giving you some of my DNA, because every single one of you that launched your VDM, you did exactly what I did in 2005. You are the CEO of your own business. You're the founder of your own business. You're using our platform to do this. You're in the same situation I was in 2005. And I decided to take this plan and take it out to the market because I had a vision. I had things that I want to change. There was a movement I want to start in the MLM direct sales world. That was my target. You need to have your own why. Again, in forensic, we talk a lot about that. So today is about just conversation, giving, you don't have the energy to succeed. It's your outlook at life that holds you back. So we're going to do some corrections on that. And forensic, one of the things that it's really known for is that it does that so well. In forensic, I'm not focusing on how to do anything. Here's the best opener. Here's the best approach. It's not about that. I mean, that's so personalized. You can do that on your own. You pick up some information. You talk to different people. You get that. But that's not what's going to make you successful. It's the core. It's the infrastructure that forensic built from inside out. And when you got that, you got longevity. And that's what you need in business to succeed. Doesn't matter what business you're in. You need longevity. You can be excited today, and then tomorrow you're discouraged. You can't be. Look, I'm not saying you don't go through the roller coaster. We all do that. It's not going through the roller coaster. It's how you feel about it. It's what you do about it. That's the difference between the Zacks and the Hovards and the Lucys and all these guys than the average person. We all go through the same motion. I'll tell Ambassador Raza, a top millionaire, goes through the same motion. I go through the same motions. So what? That's just life. Again, in forensic, I talk about the roller coaster of life. Pretty much everything I teach for the past almost 3 decades is on the laws of nature. Now, unless you can defy nature, you're going to go through the laws of nature. And the roller coaster, whether it's your emotional well-being, you're up one day, down another day. Whether it's your health, you're healthy today, you're cold the next day. Whether it's your relationship with your son, with your spouse, whatever, you're going to go through the roller coaster. So what? Here is what I find with people, though. They can go through the roller coaster with their health. They can go through the worst illness and come out of it, or fight hard to come out of it. The relationship with their family, children, spouse, that goes up and down. Jobs up and down. Pretty much everything goes through the ups and downs. They'll fight for it. But the one thing that's probably second most important thing other than your health and your families is your business, because really it can add so much to everything else in your life. and when people start going a little bit down for whatever reason, they start to doubt themselves and they want to quit or they want to jump ship. I read Ambassador Razak wrote something on Facebook. I was reading it. I was kind of chuckling when I was reading it. And the reason why I'm chuckling about it is because I guess 26 years now I've seen this happen. You know, maybe GWT is not that as often, but it's a daily thing that happens in other companies. You know, where people just decide to quit, they decide to jump ship, they decide to do whatever. Listen, it's part of life. We never said we had 100% retention, did we? We don't. We brag about having a 54% retention because the DSA average says every other company has a 10% retention. So if you're doing any other company, well, 90% of your team will be somewhere else next year. But that's the DSA average. You can't defy that. That's how we go through. Many reasons for that. There's too much competition, too many similar companies. It's easy to make those decisions to jump. Here, well, it's kind of tough to jump from GWT to something else. There's nothing else similar to it. You really have to, you know, completely change your ways of thinking to jump into a nutrition business or something else, which, of course, the minute you jump into something else, you realize, my God, there's 2,000 other companies after your distributors. What a disaster. In GWT, that's why the distributors have given it the name the Blue Ocean, because it's safe, it's reliable, it's there, it's nothing like it. Of course, you're going to go through the ups and downs, that's nature. Of course, you're going to have to work hard, and of course, half of your team will not stay. Right? There's nothing in the world that 100% of people are interested in. You know, the fact that we have destroyed the DSA average with every performance stat possible, this is a 70-year-old industry, 70, and we have shattered every performance stat the industry has ever seen by about 500 to 800%. We're not talking 5% or 10%. By itself, that would be something to brag about. Hey, we're 10% better. No, we're talking 500% better. We're talking 800% better in some of these stats. We have a lot to be thankful for. There's a lot of reasons. We're not going to get into the mechanics of it. Actually, we are. Later on, I talk about some of this stuff, how we've become where we are, and most importantly, where we're going. But when I saw that post by Razak, and he's done such a good job writing it, you know, it's hard to find candid writing like that, and it's for good reason, because everyone else is lying, right? Everyone else, every other company is lying, every other company pretend everything's great. DSA average comes out and says, hey, 90% of your other companies' distributors are in another company or they quit, so that's how bad it is, but they make it sound like it's so great, right? So it's hard to find anything candid. When Razak did that, and I kind of chuckled about it, somebody decided to quit on their dreams. And you know what? I don't like to see anyone leave. It took me a while to get over that, because I know what this business is. I know what it's doing for people, because I see it every single day in every country in the world. I see what this business is doing for people. And I know, I am convinced this is the very first company in history of MLM that the average person has a chance. It's not a guarantee, it has a chance. From an expert point of view, and you guys know that I am when it comes to compensation plan and rated worldwide, I see other companies and I see that average person doesn't have a shot. They make it sound good, but they don't have a shot. Why? Because the competition is fierce. It's pretty nasty trying to compete with 2,000 other companies who all of them sell the best juice, best pill, best cream in the world. Nobody says we're the second best cream. Everyone's got the best, right? It's very difficult to compete with that in the MLM world. But in GWT, you don't have to put up with any of that. None of them. There's nobody else that do what we do, let alone to the level that we do things. So expect that some of your people will give up on their dreams. They didn't give up on the business. The business is proven. You have examples in front of you right there. I mean, the business is proven. So no one is quitting on the business. Let's get that right. We have a 10-year track record of this. We own the world stats with our averages, but they quit on their dreams. And that makes me sad. When I see that, it makes me sad, because here is why it makes me sad. And it took me a while to get over this, by the way. because I come from the field. I was the guy who had a dream. I was the guy who was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was the guy that was desperate. I was the guy that wanted something bigger when I started my profession in 1990 at age 20. I was that guy. I was you. And when I saw this whole idea of working from home and being able to have leverage, I was excited. Of course, the honeymoon phase ended. I think I wanted to quit 6 times in the first 9 months. That's how I started. Quit 6 times first 9 months. But somehow something happened. I persevered, went through it, and here I am now 25 years later. But it makes me sad seeing people quit on their jobs, on their dreams, because I would say when you came to us, when you came to GWT, something wasn't working obviously in your life. If everything was perfect, you wouldn't be here. Something wasn't working. Whether it's financially, whether it was stress, or nothing in your family, or whatever the case is, something wasn't working in your life before GWT. And we gave you a proven system that's working worldwide. You try for 6 months, and you give up on your dreams. Okay, now what? I love those 2 words. Now what? I want you to think about those 2 words. I'm going to silence myself for about 5 seconds. It's going to become like the longest 5 seconds of your life. I want you to think about it. You think of quitting? Now what? You've gone back to where you were before GWT. Was that great? Oh, you're going to jump into another deal. Well, let's see. We're going to talk about now what we have. We talked about how our, maybe we did it backwards, because we talked about the results of what we have, and of course that destroys everything else the industry's ever seen in the past 70 years. But let me take you through my mindset and how I wanted to do things, because for me, I didn't get into this for lifestyle. I didn't. I did not launch Global Wealth Trade because I wanted success. I was successful before Global Wealth Trade. I launched Global Wealth Trade at age 36. I made my first million at age 25. I did not have to do Global Wealth Trade. I didn't do this for success. I didn't do this to make more money. I didn't do this, to be more comfortable, or another vague adjective word you want to use that you guys use every single day. That will make more money. What the hell does that mean? If make more money to you means, I don't know, $10,000 a month, or you give that to Sherry, you should be depressed that month. She makes that in a week. You got to be clear on what does that mean to you. I want to see success. Well, let me tell you something. I know people, success, they wake up in the morning, and they actually verbalize this. Imagine that. Well, every time I wake up in the morning and I'm still breathing, it's a successful day. Wow. Talk about setting the bar low. And they make it sound like they're responsible for it, because really, you want to give that one to God. It has nothing to do with you. Right? So at the end of the day, I didn't do it. I had one reason, being an athlete. And this is why we've gone from inception to where we are today and world's benchmark and so many things. I had one word as my target. All I did was about that one thing. Being a professional athlete, I just wanted to win. It was about winning. I knew money is a side product of that. I knew if we do enough to beat our competitors, whether it's the designer world or whether it's in the MLM world, money will come. But boy, oh boy, what a difference in mindset, because if I want to win, that means you get the absolute best of everything. If I just want to be successful, I could just pour the cream out like everyone else did. I didn't have to pour the 1,400 of the world's best SKUs. I didn't have to do that. What we did was tough. You can walk into any, listen carefully to this. You can walk into any health food store. Close your eyes. Let someone spin you till you don't even know where you're pointing. and open your eyes and you're pointing at whatever product you're pointing at, you can take that off the shelf, put a story, and make an MLM out of it. Because MLMs don't have special products. You can find them anywhere. So this idea that, I went to an MLM because they had a product I was interested in. Well, guess what? You can get that product half the price anywhere, in any health food store, anywhere in the world or online. You don't have to go pay extra for that in the MLM business. I can tell you right now, this business of direct sales, it's more, especially when it comes down to people that are selling, nutrition products or skincare products. It's a story-driven business. It's not because you have something special. It's a story that builds that business. So for me, it was simple. I want to go beat. That means I want to win against my competitors, whether it's designer world, the Gucci's, the Louis Vuittons, and Tiffany's, and Cartier's, or whether it's the MLM world. And my barometer for success was the billion. Look, I didn't have to. I don't need a billion. Like I said, my life was good before GWT, and it's good now. I don't need a billion. Any of you, if you've been with me for a while, you know what my son means to me. He is my absolute pulse. My life starts and ends with him. And he lives 1.5 hours away from me. If I want to do what I want to do, I'll be with him 24/7, and you will not see me. I will not be working. If I did that, that wouldn't be very good for you. So I needed to set a target bigger than myself, because my life is very comfortable. And $1 billion, since only a handful of companies have done that, it's a pretty good target. It creates a whole lot of millionaires in the process, doesn't it? So when was my target? It still is today. And the barometer that if we're going to get there or not is $1 billion. It means go out and beat Louis Vuitton from the product point of view. Go out and beat Tiffany. Go out and beat Cartier from an MLM point of view. Go ahead, since I was the world expert anyways, go ahead and implement everything that every other MLM business would dread. Go include something that I know that even the few in the world that understand what I just did would dread it, because they know they can't touch it. The very first thing I did, I said, I'm not going to get into, because I knew 10 years ago, this is not a new phenomenon. 10 years ago, I knew that the MLM world, the health and wellness, which includes the skincare and all of that, the nutrition, is on a decline. They're on a free fall from 10 years ago. And here's the reason why. And the biggest lie of the industry, which Pulitzer started, John Paul Pulitzer started, was that, nutrition will be the next $1 trillion industry. Well, yeah, that's a half-truth. And I would say a half-truth is worse than a lie. At least a lie you can identify as a lie. But a half-truth, it looks like it's a truth, but it's a lie. And that CD, when he said it in the context that he said it, was for network marketers. Well, yes, nutrition will eventually hit $1 trillion. The problem is that when it gets to $1 trillion, vast majority of sales has nothing to do with MLM. It's in retail, it's in every store, every drugstore, it's on internet, it's on TV. Everywhere you go, they're selling health and wellness products, which that causes a serious problem for network marketers, doesn't it? The truth is, the market share that network marketers have in health and wellness has been on a free fall for the past decade. And here's the reason why. Because every week, 2 companies launch with the same products. So now you've got all these companies launching, and they all have the best products. They all launched because they stole someone else's distributors to begin with. So now your company is always under attack. Your team is always under attack by competing companies selling similar products. They all talk about being better than you. It's your way against them. No one has a right authenticate their products anyways. So everyone can claim they got the best product, the compensation plan is different, the people are struggling. They don't know why they're struggling, but they're struggling. Then I took to heart. They said, work hard for 5 and take the next 50 off. Hey, that's a good deal. Work hard for 5 and take the next 50 off. Now, taking 50 off, it doesn't mean that you disappear, because you still have to provide support to your team, because obviously you get paid on that. But at least you don't have to go out there yourself looking for next customers, because it's happening for you. So I thought that's a good deal. We've gone from that to the days today where leaders are saying MLM is only good for 3 or 4 years. You juice it, and you shift to the next company, and you try to bring the people over, and someone will follow you. And what a mistake, because these are the same people that had success in the past, and I know many of them. Now they're broke. They can't even, basically they walk themselves out of MLM, something that made them a lot of money in the past, because they've switched so many companies that nobody now listens to them anymore. Now they're completely irrelevant, and people just, so that basically they can't even do the business anymore. So for me, it was, I wanted to come in here, and I wanted to launch a company that's going to change the industry. Things that I've never done before. From the compensation plan point of view, I created the world's first variable compensation plan. Never done before. Never. In binaries, because that's what it relates to binaries, because other binaries expect you to match CV. So if you look in any other binary outside GWT, you have to have either your 50-50, that means both sides have to be equal, or you have to have your 1/3, 2/3. There is no other way of making money. So in other words, one combination will pay you with any other binary in industry, whether that's a 50-50 platform or it's a 1/3, 2/3. But in GWT, what we mean by variable, that means they'll pay you at 50-50, it'll pay you at 1/3, 2/3, and it will pay you with any combination as long as you have the minimum 1/3 on both sides. Now, maybe too advanced for some of you, I'll simplify by saying this. With any other binary, you have one way of making money, turning your CV into commission. With GWT, you literally have thousands of different combinations that will pay you. You don't get that anywhere else. This is the type of stuff that I brought in that CEOs dread. This is the type of stuff I brought in that top MLMers who know me, they're scared to death that if it gets out, it's going to be, mass exit on their part and mass entry on our part. I get phone calls saying, we've known each other for 30 years. Hey, listen, we make our money in this. Tone it down a little bit. They're asking me to tone it down. I say, no, I can't. I'm not going to tone it. I'm not doing this to build my business. My business is growing. I'm doing this because I don't like the slaughterhouse that you guys created out there. I don't like people getting hurt the way they are right now. It's the greatest industry in the world. It's the last bastion of the free enterprise. It's the last chance for the average person to get a financial home run. And you guys are screwing it up. So if we can save as many people as we can, reach as many people as we can, this is the blue ocean that people can, get off the shark-infested red ocean and come to and be safe and reliable. So what first thing was, fix the binary system. And that is no restriction on CV payout. Make it variable. Any combination, as long as you got 1/3 on each side, any combination will pay you, where any other binary, only one combination will pay you. I went beyond that. I didn't stop over there. I decided to create the world's first, and again, first and only, free-flowing plan. Simply means I basically removed all the impossible hoops that you're going to have to jump through to convert your CV, your commissionable volume, into a check. I did that by eliminating ranks. No ranks. You know what I'm talking about. Every other company you go to, there's somebody on the stage, they're Ambassador 3, Supreme Matter Commander, the Starship Commander, and with these guys are flashing a $100,000 check. The problem is they're telling everybody you cannot do what I just did. because to achieve those ranks is impossible to do. Only a handful will ever get there, and even the ones who get there, they never actually requalify that position. So although they keep the rank, they get one big check, and the rest is just whatever they can get. So I wanted to make sure when you create CV, make it as easily accessible as possible for you to convert that CV in your team into a commission. Again, first ever in history, and the only. No one will ever touch that. Still, 9 years later, no one's even attempting. They know it's there. They know my company. No CEO will accept to do these things because it costs way too much to the company. Costs way too much for the corporation. Corporations, dirty secret is this. They like to create what they call breakage. That's a technical term, breakage. What that means is that we want to show on paper that we pay 50% or 60%, whatever, but we actually only want to pay 35%. Well, how do you show 50% and only pay out 35%? Well, the only way to do that is by putting in ranks. Ranks that people will not be able to attain, even if they were to get there, they can't sustain, and all that money that's supposed to go out stays with the company. It's called breakage. We don't have that in the GWT. So that's second thing. Third thing, I created the world's first real incentive program. Now, incentives in MLM, sometimes I'm telling you, they're more of a liability than they're actually incentives. And one of the things I've been talking about for the longest time is the car incentive program. Other companies, doesn't matter what company you go to, here's how the car program works. You do X, Y, and Z, and you get a car to show you a BMW or whatever, a Lexus or whatever. What they don't tell you is that, well, yes, you achieve this, and yes, you can go get yourself a lease under your name, because the company's not paying that. It's always on your name. So then you get that car payment, whatever that is, which is a $500, $600, whatever that is, you get that car payment this month. Guess what? Next month, you have to requalify again. If you don't, guess who's paying for the lease? It's under your name. And vast majority of people who qualify for these so-called car programs, because they really should be called car payment programs, they're not car programs. They're car payment programs, because every single month you qualify, not for a car, you're qualifying for a car payment. That's what you're qualifying for. So car programs have become very hurtful for the industry. It's become a complete liability. Thousands of lawsuits are going around against companies because people got themselves a long-term lease, and then after the first couple of months they couldn't even re-qualify for it, and now they're stuck. People lost their credit. People gone to bankruptcy. What type of incentive is that? The worst part is they make a really big deal of it. That you know what you can, and they make it. The worst part is they make it even easier for you to get that first, payment, and boy, oh boy, you're stuck in it after that. I don't believe in that. So I created the world's real car program, and here's how it works. You qualify for it. Of course, it's harder to qualify because it's real. It's actually being paid out. It's not like other companies that 100 people qualify and only 5 of them actually getting paid. The rest of them, they're paying themselves. So the company's not paying for it. With me, we pay for it. Here's how it works. While other companies give you a minivan, and there's nothing wrong with minivans, I have one, but I don't want it as an incentive car. We have the luxury club and we have the exotic club. You qualify for the luxury club, and it's harder to qualify for it, but one of your own, Ambassador Comfort, has qualified for it. We know Ambassador Reza's qualified, Ambassador Renee's qualified. We pay, that means you're now pre-qualified for 18 months. And we tell you, go get yourself a lease for 18 months, because they're available. We've done our research, they're available. And for 18 months, and you're already qualified. You don't have to worry about next month re-qualifying for it. And within the 18 months, you get a chance to re-qualify for another 18 months, or you can just give the car back. That's it. Now, that's a real car program. That car program cannot hurt anyone. Once you qualify, you know for the next 18 months, we'll pay you for a luxury club, $1,000 a month you can put towards your favorite car. It has to be, there is a couple of things. It has to be black. It has to be a luxury. Don't go get me a pickup truck.
You know, we want something that's going to help you build your GWT business. Could be a Mercedes, Range Rover, Porsche, could be whatever. And we've even given you the flexibility that you can go get a brand new C-Class, for example, if you wanted to. Or people like Reza or Renee say, hey, that doesn't do us any good. We already have those cars. We want to get the bigger versions, so you can go get a car, a year, 2 years old, get yourself an S-Class Mercedes, 2, 3 years old, and it would be the same thing. Or you can actually take the $1,000 we give you, get the car of your choice, and pay the balance yourself. But the point I'm making is that we give you flexibility to get what you want. Personally, what I recommend to people is that if it's your first luxury car, get the new car. But if you already have one, and I know in many countries people already have these cars, then get a car that's a couple of years old and get the best one they make. Instead of getting the C-Class Mercedes, go ahead and get the S-Class Mercedes. So, and which is a couple of years old. So because it takes you to a completely new level. So we put a real car program out there versus every other company that puts a car payment program. I'm sure one of these days, Ambassador Comfort, I know we've been talking, she's going to be calling her leaders and says, hey, let's go car shopping. Scouring around Abuja, looking at luxury cars, and she's got $1,000 a month for the next 18 months. Go get whatever she likes. As long as it's black, she could have a Lexus if she wants, and Cadillac, Jaguar. I think she wants a Mercedes, but at the end of the day, it is I would not do anything that's going to hurt the industry. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of smoke and mirror going on in the industry, which I'm completely against. After that, we have for example, when it comes down to vacations, well, every company has a vacation. Every company has that. But generally, it's some 4-star resort in Panama, whatever similar. You go there, it's a nice experience, but, I don't know. I just can't do that. Being who we are, being GWT, being Ferry, who we are, again, it's about winning, 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 winning. No. When many of you have seen the videos, many of you heard the type of treatment our regional ambassador got last year in Mexico. I mean, this wasn't one of those resorts you'll find on Expedia. This is one of the resorts that you have to go through special agents. It's a 6-star resort. It's a place that Beyonce went there for her anniversary. It's that type of place. And on top of them, not only just being there, I give them what's called a royal service. On top of that, they had their own butler. So everyone's got a cell phone. And I remember Ambassador Scaler, Leo, he's having pina coladas on the pool, by the pool, playing volleyball, and he called the butler and says, can you please iron out my shirt for tonight's dinner? And by the time he got there, the hot tub was filled, ready for him just in case you want to use it. Both bars are exploding with alcohol, any type of drink you want. And his shirts were nicely ironed out, waiting for him. That's my idea. Not when you work at that level, it's tougher to find and coordinate times and locations. And this time we decided, I guess there was a disagreement between the old ambassadors and new ambassadors, and seems like there is a brand new resort being built in Costa Rica. It's the same group, so it's going to be 6-star, and it's going to be ready in November. So my challenge is to make sure I can lock that down for our many new regional ambassadors, many of them from Nigeria, by the way. So, it'll be so fun. It's going to be like such an international affair. And I have plans, boy, because we're going to have a time of our life. Again, that's what I'm talking about. If you're going to do something, don't fake it. Just do it and do it right. So when they come back, they'll have an experience of a lifetime. Reza, he's been all over the world. He's been to more hotels than you can count. I mean, he's all about, 5-star resorts. And since last year, he says, you know what, everything else I look is a downgrade. Everything else, and these are the same places that looked good to him before. This is what I want to do, elevate. I always say don't do things, elevate things. That is our mindset. The RA trip. Many of you have time to qualify. It's going to be absolutely insane. One of the biggest problem of MLM is the authorship program. It's important to be there. But it's a major problem for people because the same shipment comes to your door every single day, every month, sorry, and people get off the auto ship. So that's why the DSA average is 6%. 6% is a DSA average for the auto ship. Our IA program is revolutionized the industry, something I created for GWT, something we can do and cannot even be duplicated. It's because of the type of parts we have, we can actually have an IA program. They can't even copy it if they wanted to, because of the type of parts they sell. My point is this. We're sitting at about 46% to 50% of our LCs stay under monthly IA, where the DSI average shows the auto ship is at 6% globally. Now, as a person who wants to build leverage, you're sitting there right now, you're listening to this, you're doing this because you want to build a residual income. Imagine how tough things would be if only 6% of everybody that joined your team actually bought something every month. That's being on the treadmill, right? You bring them, you lose them. But if you bought half of your people that you brought in, or other people brought in, if the half of the games launched, buy something every month, whether it's through the IA program or actual product or sell something online, that's all averages. Now that is how you create wealth. So a lot of the stuff you might not realize, but it's all the stuff that comes together. They're all individually so important, so revolutionizing. This is why we have people like Ambassador Rene make $100,000 a month with 7,000 VDMs in his team, where any other company, bar none, it doesn't matter who, any other company will take about 100,000 to 150,000 or more people to do. 7,000 is doable. 150,000? I'm not sure how many people can do that. So the revolutionary IA program. We introduced many other things like the Flex Plan. I mean, if the Flex Plan, clearly tells you what's going on in my head. What the Flex Plan is basically allows you to cash in your CV anytime you want. No other company's ever done this. It's an industry first and only. No other company does that. So basically, if you haven't seen it, there's videos on all this, by the way. So if you YouTube it, there's videos on all of this. You should know if you've launched this more than a month. If you haven't, you should be checking your upline. Why you haven't? Always hold your upline accountable, by the way, always. Because by holding them accountable, and if they didn't receive the right information from their upline, they'll hold their upline accountable. And if everybody's holding everybody accountable, now we have an informed team. That's what you want. You want a team that's informed of all the benefits, of all the advantages that we have. So the Flex Plan allows you, right now it's basically 5,000 points. That gives you $500, but that's great. But what if you have 4,000 points and you need money now? But any other company, you have to wait till it's 5,000. Not here. You can just go to your back office, say pay me at 4,000 points, and you get paid $350 today. You don't have to wait till there's 5,000. You can cash in at 3,000. You can cash in at 2,000. You can cash in at 1,000 points. Why would I allow that? There's only one reason. The reason is I want to make sure I give the average person a chance, the best possible chance, way beyond the Call of Duty, way beyond any other company. I'm giving you every chance in the world to make money. There is no other reason why. Now, we're making some changes to the Flex Plan for the Phase 5. I am so pumped up about it. It's going to quadruple your CV production. We're going to put some really cool call to action plans in place for it forces people to take action. And I'm revved up. Everything I do is because I want to double your momentum, triple, quadruple your momentum. All right, so where else do we want to go from here? Let's talk about products a little bit, because I came from a nutrition background. Obviously, I'm an ex-professional athlete. I am Mr. Nutrition. I was Mr. Nutrition. One world championship. Everything I did was nutrition. So I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm telling you, why didn't I start my MLM in nutrition? Because I knew it was a losing proposition for everybody. Because I knew even at that time, there was a slaughterhouse going on. There's a massacre happening out there. People are losing their money. People are just very confused. Competition is fierce. Every single day you have to play PR because 5 other companies are targeting your distributors with their better juice that has 10% more olive oil than yours. That's why they want to get into being Mr. Nutrition. And I had the credibility. I called, hey, you guys are all talented. He's qualified to start a nutrition business. But I didn't do that because I knew you would have a hell of a hard time. I would make money, but you're going to have a hell of a hard time. And we will be part of 6% auto ship ratio and a 10% retention ratio. We would be contributing to the massacre that goes on right now. So yes, I like nutrition. I'll take it every day. I don't want it as a business because it's impossible to build. Our product line, so I went ahead away from that. I said, I'm going to go to the most profitable part on the world, which is fashion and jewelry. There is nothing else more profitable. What I want to do is this. See, what we used to do was, when we first started building nutrition MLM businesses, if you need money this week or this month, what we had to do, pick up the phone and call a whole bunch of our leaders, ask them if they can buy an extra case of product they didn't need this month so we can get extra commission. That's what goes on in MLM all over the world. I didn't want that. I wanted you, if you want to make an extra $1,000 this month, it's up to me. I want you to go out there, sell a couple of pieces, and boom, cash in your jeans. You could do that with fashion and nutrition. That's what with fashion and jewelry. You can't do that with nutrition. That's a hell of a lot of products that you want to sell because of very low profit items. So we start with fashion jewelry, and we start with gold jewelry. Now, gold jewelry was 18 carats, so it's still very high end in compared to the stores. So if you had to put it into perspective, it would be very high end gold jewelry at 18 carat. It was the SIs and some VS, and so it would be equivalent to a high end store you have in your local major cities. Our fashion jewelry was great. It was fine. But I decided we're not going to win with something someone else makes. So I wanted to do something no one has ever done. That's why I came up with the concept of fairy and fairy marsh, and later we added parts to that. We want to create something the world doesn't have. So then, fairy, we started spending a ton of money into the plating technology. Well, look at it today. While everybody else, by the way, including Tiffany, this is a billion-dollar corporation. Tiffany, they're over 120 years, 130 years in business. While everybody's just getting away from plating because they know plating will change color. They just know it. So even Tiffany pieces don't come with plating anymore. It's just silver. So it's dull. It doesn't look that great. But hey, if it gets dark, you can just sell you a $20 kit to clean it. So anyway,
Hello, Mr. Rami. Hello, are you there? Hello, we can't hear you. Hello, Mr. Rami.
Hello, Ramin.
Hello, Rami. Um, we seem to
Are you still there? I'm not sure it's my line or it's your side there. We cannot hear you anymore. I believe it's you're
Actually, can you hear
muting
me
yourself
okay?
on your
Okay,
side.
okay, okay. We hear you.
Actually, can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes, sir. We hear you now.
Now I can hear you back. Thank you, Ramin.
At what point did you lose me?
Like
At what point did you lose me?
ago.
Okay, so no, at what point did you lose me? Okay, so let's go back to the product again. What I was talking about. So we wanted to create something that the world's never seen. So we came with this special plating technology, and it's very difficult to do because plating is plating. At the end of the day, you said you don't take care of it. If it's a climate issue, it's going to be affected. But we've managed to, very expensive process, but for Ferry, we've done this very elaborate process, and it keeps its lust and shine if you take care of it for a long time. We have people that walk into our office who have their Ferry from 2007, and they're still there, and they love it. So that's that's the direction. It's a tough direction to go, but that's where I wanted to go. But Ferry Marsh, I didn't want 18K. We're stop blowing up gold and do something the world's never seen. And that is create a 19 karat and 21 karat gold composition the world's never seen and still have never seen. So again, we've done things that are quite different. But this thing is about what the evolution doesn't start. We've done things in 10 years, our competition have not done over 100 years. But this call, I want to finish it with phase 5. Because phase 5 is where our afterburners towards $1 billion will come in. The first phase, the first 4 phases set our infrastructure to the $1 billion. Phase 5 is the afterburners to accelerate us to the $1 billion, because we've worked so hard for the past 9 years to be where we are today. Also, being where we are, I see we need to do some corrections in the compensation plan side to make sure that we protect your check, because one of the things about having a free-flowing plan, everything I talk about today, the upside is that everybody gets paid, which is great. The downside is there's so much money in the pot, and eventually we're going to cap out. So cap out means that your 500 will be adjusted because it's paying more than 60% on the binary. So we're getting there. I had to make the correction in 2011 to bring us where we are now. We're going to need a small correction now for the next 10 years. I want to secure the next 10 years for you, and that's what phase 5. This is why phase 5 is so important. This is why the ones who could get the visa should be there, and I know many of you are coming. This is why major international events should be on your calendar months in advance. It's not something, well, it'd be nice to go or have my upline tell me all about it. No one can tell you this. It's like asking someone else who want to watch the movie and tell me about the movie. Is it the same as you sitting in the seat and watching the movie in the cinema? Of course not. So you have to make the top international events. Now, phase 5, of course, we're revved up, and it's incredible. Since we announced that we're coming up with the anti-aging and the skincare line, it's unbelievable. Our phones hasn't stopped ringing from other leaders from other companies who are now saying, look, I've been watching your company for 7, 8 years. I've been watching your company for 2, 3 years. I love everything about it. But the only reason why we didn't move is because, honestly, we didn't know how to promote it because of the type of product you have was so different. I always say we're like the Apple of the MLM industry. Apple started in the 1950s. Even 30 years later, the experts were predicting they're going to be as late as 1996. Experts were predicting that Apple will go bankrupt. Steve Jobs got fired from his job because they weren't doing well. And here's the reason. They were not doing well because they weren't as good as Microsoft. No, it's the opposite. They were so much better. But it was so different that no one understood them. But when the consumers start to understood what Apple was, it took 30 years, but the minute they understood what Apple was, boom, within 10 years, they became the most valuable company on earth for the first time even surpassing ExxonMobil, which is the oil company. We are the Apple of MLM because everyone is into nutrition and skincare. We do stuff that the world has never seen. Everyone is into these ranks. We do a free flow plan. But people are starting to hear, they've been watching us, and they see this beautiful picture that that has no flaws, there's no holes, everything about it is perfect. But they're like, okay, well, but I'm not used to it because 20 years I've been doing this other thing. It's not working, but at least I know it. It's familiar to me. So what skincare did for announcement for us is that all these people who have been watching us, and they know where they see things to be perfect. It's not perfect, but it looks perfect because it's so much better than any other programs ever existed. We've corrected so many things that other companies are dealing with. Well, because now we're bringing something familiar to them, oh, getting into skincare, now it's the time to move in because they're familiar how to promote that. So we're getting all kinds of calls. If you have no idea, people who've made millions and millions and millions in other companies are calling us now. Some are flying in, of course, so it is going to really hit the momentum hard. Let me tell you, obviously it's great because it's a $121 billion industry, the skincare line industry. So $121 billion is a good market to get into. We're already in a $1.3 trillion industry. That's the fashion industry. So we got another 121 million to add to that, which is great. But let me tell you why it's so important, the skincare. Because right now, skincare nutrition is kind of leveled off, and they're having difficult times. So skincare companies are gaining momentum in the MLM platform. So it's something that's starting to boom in the MLM platform, where that creates an opportunity for you to go after them and get them into your company. Because not only are we going to produce a better product at the same price, they can come to you and still provide our customers with the best skincare line in the world at about the same price, and they have 1,400 other super SKUs in fashion and jewelry and timepieces to add to that. See, skincare companies, that's all they sell is skincare. That's all they sell. Here, we'll have that, plus we have this luxury designer fashion house that they can tap into. What an opportunity it creates for you from the marketing point of view. That's for when I did that video with our VP, Sanaa Suman. I said, strategically, I'm going to place this, although we're going to create our skincare at the prestige level, which is the highest level. There's different 3 levels. There is the department store level. There's the mastige level. They call it mastige, and that's basically specialty stores like Sephora and those things. And then you've got the prestige level. So we're going to create real luxury designs. We're going to create our quality at a prestige level, but I'm going to strategically price it low at the mastige level to compete with the MLM company. So I'm not going to price it where it should be. It's going to be priced where the other competition are at, so it makes it easier for you to go out there and prospect them. Again, being the only owner of the company, from the director point of view, I can make those type of decisions without not having to worry about the board of directors and all those other things, because this is something that other companies can't do. So with us, we make a quick decision. I share with my LCG group, and boom, we're up and running. So the skincare is going to be a lab we're dealing with, the OTC lab. That means over-the-counter drug lab. Now, our products are going to be 100% natural, anti-aging, all this natural stuff. What the OTC lab means is the highest level of credibility you can have. It's the highest level of licensing you can have. So even if we wanted to create something that was would consider a drug, for example, for guys, products to grow hair, for example, stuff like that. So it's a lab that works with already multi-billion-dollar corporations like Revlon and those type of companies and Chanel, and this is the type of lab that we go to because I want the best of the best of the best. And we have 6 scientists and 2 lab technicians specifically, exclusively formulating right now for Fairy. And we have pictures of that, and we're going to obviously pull out some promo from that. So skincare is coming out, and boy, oh boy, what an overwhelming advantage it's going to give you to go after other skincare companies, because, you know, even if they say, well, I like our product, they don't have the other 1,400 SKUs. And they're not going to do things the way we're going to do it. So that's one. Well, we're not stopping there. Then we're getting into color cosmetics, because, I mean, look what color cosmetics, or commonly known as makeup, has done for Mary Kay. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. I mean, so the skincare companies don't do color cosmetics because they're 2 separate lines, 2 completely different areas. In fact, we have gone to a different lab for our color cosmetics because they're 2 separate things. It's an Italian company that we've gone to do our color cosmetics. And the beautiful part about all of this is it falls right under our luxury designer platform. It falls under our umbrella. Because when you take a look at Chanel, for example, they have a makeup line and they have a skincare line. Dolce & Gabbana just launched their skincare line. There's 2 other major designers. My mind is not there right now. That again, it falls right into what we do. So it's not like we're getting all of our luxury design platform to do this. No, it falls under our luxury designer portfolio. See, other companies, they can't jump into what we do. First of all, it's too technical. But we can do what they're already doing. After the color cosmetics, we're not even stopping there. We're going into candles. And there's companies out there. They do like $400 or $500 million a year in business just on candles. Now, we're so well set up for this because not only are we going to begin at the prestige level, the quality is going to be the prestige level, because we've been working on our fragrances for 4 years now, where we have 23 scents that are already approved, waiting for us to launch the fragrances. At the prestige level, now we're going to have to use some of those scents to match with the candles. So now you have your fragrance when it comes out, your candle will smell the same, and some, not all, some of the cosmetics are going to have the same type of scent, because studies are telling us, because we're studying right now the industry, in the prestige level, it's very common now that they're saying very first thing women do when they go look at makeup, they smell it. So because we already have 23 different juices prepared for our fragrance division, that's easy for us because now we can match it. And matching fragrances on your makeup and your candles and your color cosmetic, this is now the trend for prestige companies like Chanel and company. So here we are. I mean, Dior launched their line not too long ago. We are right in the thick of it. These are the type of things that then eventually we're going to cover the fragrances. Now, I want to talk about the fragrances. The hard part is done. That's what we thought the hard part was done. It took 4 years to prepare and formulate 23 different scents, which that we can release year after year. The reason why we have not released the fragrances, the perfumes, is because of logistical issues. We try to figure out how to get it to you, not just Nigeria, worldwide. We drop ship worldwide, and because perfume has alcohol in it, it's called dangerous goods. It's categorized under dangerous goods, DG. And to ship, it's going to cost an extra $80 to $100 for dangerous goods fee. So obviously we don't want that. We can't add your fragrance in your regular order. In other words, you can't call in and place an order. Okay, I want my bag, I want my Fairy, I want my Fairy Marsh, I want my shoes, and give me my fragrance. You can't do that because of the logistical issue, which is the dangerous goods policy that airlines have. It's very expensive. You have to go to a special part. That's why there's the extra fee for it above your shipping fee. That's the only thing that's holding us back. I'll figure out a way how to do it. What other companies are doing, for example, in Abuja, you go, there's perfumes there. They ship it by ship in bulk, and they have a warehouse, and then they distribute it to the stores. We don't do that, obviously. With us, we drop ship your product to your door worldwide. That's why it's it becomes an issue with the airlines. But we'll figure it out. I have some ideas on how we can still deliver this because we have so many other developments. It's ready. We've done the work, 4 years of work. It's ready. And the fact that it's ready allows us now to use the juice for the candles, to use the juice for some of the cosmetics, and it just comes all together so well. And I guess when we do the candles at the New Year's Day webinar, we give you some previews of the next few years and where we're going. And one of them was Fairy Home. Remember that? Fairy Home? Well, let's suppose you could say, once the candles come out, that would be the first item that would fall under the Fairy Home, because that would be the category it would be falling under. So can you see how everything comes together in GWT? If we've been with us for 10 years, now you're used to it, because you know that whatever we say, it'll fall into place at some point, sooner or later, and it's always there and it's over-delivered more than what we promised. Even if you've been with us for the last few years, you know this is how we work. If you're brand new, you'll start to see the pattern of how I introduce things, how I release news. We do it very cautiously, but our vision of what MLM should be is so different than what MLM companies are. We're in two different stratosphere on what I believe a home-based business should be. What I believe is as customer service should be. Again, being a self-financed company who doesn't have $1 in debt for the type of business that we're in, precious metals and stones, it's unheard of, because every other company launches with some type of venture capital funding them, and that also means they own them. That also means that the decisions are now made by an external company. Here we're self-sufficient. We do it slowly, but boy, when we do it right. And to close, I'm just going to have fun with you a little bit. And I don't want you to repeat this. I'm just having fun. It's not going to happen. So I'm just going to say 5 times so you understand we're not doing this. But I'm just going to have fun with you how vast this luxury designer umbrella can be. So again, we're not doing this, but let's just have some fun. If we really wanted to, this under luxury designer, we can actually get into, believe it or not, energy products, weight loss products, and even nutrition products. Here's how. About 20 years ago, a friend of mine wanted to give me a gift and gave me a box of Versace truffles. That's right. It was $120, 6 pieces in it. It's $20 a piece. But again, so luxury designers actually do have their own very specialized truffles and chocolate, and this is a very normal part of being a luxury designer. So obviously we have our candies. When you order your product, you see a fairy candy is always in it, as a nice gesture. We get so many compliments about that. And early on we had fairy marsh truffles, and we don't do that anymore. But the point is this: if we really wanted to, we could launch a fairy marsh or fairy truffle. We could have it formulated to give you energy, like energy drink companies. We could have it formulated to be extremely nutritious with all kinds of herbs and different things, and so become a nutritional product. We can have it formulated to become a weight loss product. There's already chocolate companies out there doing weight loss. They do very well. So technically, no one is safe from GWT. If we wanted to get into it, again, we're not getting there. We're not going there. I want you to know that. Don't repeat it. I'm having fun with you. But it's endless what we can do if we want to. So with that, Sherry, I'm going to pass it back on, or the ambassador young lady who opened up the call. If you have some questions, you're welcome to do that. I will say to you is this: you're going to go through the ups and downs. When you're down, so what? You're down. Lick your wounds. Get to work. And if you ever think of quitting on your dreams, because you're not quitting on your upline, you're not quitting on your business, you're not quitting on GWT, you're quitting on your dreams. If you ever decide to do that, just remember these 2 words. Now what? Is your life going to be any further ahead by quitting? At least this gives you the light at the end of the tunnel. At least you got a light at the end of the tunnel. Now what? You're going to go back to the way it was before GWT. So I'll pass the phone back to you. I'm going to be here for another couple of minutes, maybe ask a couple of questions or hear some comments, and then my 6-year-old great one keeps walking in and says, Baba, can we take the Lamborghini out for a drive? So I need to take him out. It's a nice sunny day. We're not as blessed as you folks down there with the beautiful sun and the warm weather. So if we get like 30 days of it in a year, we have to take advantage of it. So I'll give it back to you, Sherry, or whoever is the host.
Wow. Thank you so very much, Mr. Ramil. Um, it's been absolutely fantastic. Now what? Now what? We are not quitting. Okay, I can see we have lots of hands raised up. I'm just gonna unmute them one by one, and you would ask your question. Um, Silas, I've unmuted you from my end. Could you unmute from your end and ask your question? Hello, Silas. Okay, hello, Najib.
Hello, can you hear me?
Najib,
Yes, we can.
I have unmuted you from my end. Could you go ahead with your question?
Yes, I'm coming.
Hi, Najib.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a very nice session and I really enjoyed. And I have just dropped one question.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Shall I talk or shall I have just written a question?
Just ask your question or you can type it.
Uh, I have typed already, but I will talk to you. I have joined GWT, a prestigious company, on May 20th, and for 10 days I was very busy in my office because I had to close my project. But I am looking after important stuff on website and on my seniors, and I have learned through one video on the YouTube the system. I think it was the 30-day free flowing variable compensation plan. In this plan, I think the upliner should bring some people and put it under my team just to develop the team. So as yet, I have not developed my team and I'm a little bit confused. So I don't want to quit, but I'm very motivated. But just want support from my senior team that if they can help me in developing my team. That's all.
Okay, so it's I understood the last part, which is you like more support, which is wonderful. And you know what? I'm sure, I have no doubt that your uplines will be all over this. I just want to understand, you're looking for a certain video? Is that what you're looking for?
No, sir, I have seen some videos, but as I like your speak, that there is system in place and we have to follow the system. According to system, I watched one video today, and it was about the plan, free flowing variable plan, compensation plan. In that plan, they say that you have one right leg and then you have a left leg. So you have common leg and you have personal leg. So in common leg, the upliner, whoever is my upliners, and they should bring some people down to my line to join the team, so then I can work on my personal line.
That's right.
So there is some confusion.
Well, I think I understand the question, but one thing you need to do, very first thing we do when you first launch your VDM, we want you to understand who your My5 is. So,
Yes,
because, all right, so they can certainly help you with a lot of that. But I do want to make sure one thing very clear. Binary is only two legs. And although it's true that you can receive some help from above, although it's true, it's not a guarantee. So I want to make sure you don't count on that. Remember, it's only 2 legs to build. If you're with other type of method of compensation plan, like the unit level system, you don't get that anyways. You have to build, because everyone is building indefinitely, going wide, so there is no, it's called the overspill. What you talk about is called overspill. That means your upline will put some people that will end up in your team. But that doesn't happen in other compensation plans, like the matrix plan, like the unilevel plan, like the breakaway plan. It doesn't happen there anyways. That can only happen in binary systems, and it's not a guarantee. So your first attitude should be to be, it's up to me. I'm going to go out there and build my 2 legs. Is there any other program, any other method of distribution, like the unilevel system, like a matrix system, you don't get that anyways. You have to, everyone has to be out there and building 10, 15, 20, 100 legs personally. Here is only 2, so it's much easier to do. That said, it is true that because you only have 2, the third person you have to put in has to go automatically below either the right leg or the left leg. So because of that, yes, you might receive some overspill. Again, I don't want to get too technical on the compensation plan, but you should contact your My5. Now, when we say My5, I want to be clear on this. My5 doesn't necessarily mean the person that brought you in the business. We talk about qualified uplines, because if someone who brought you in, if they're still new or they're not active, they can't help you. Qualified uplines are the ones who are actively building the business. They're ambassadors or regional ambassadors or national ambassadors. Those are the type of people that you want to keep within your My5 to be able to help you out. Now, if you have somebody who's a diplomat, great. If they're really active, they know their stuff, great. It's not that hard to get the diplomat. So other than that, I wouldn't consider the people above you who are not reached these type of statuses. I wouldn't consider them your qualified upline. If they're qualified, there will be one of these statuses. So make sure that you're selective. You know, if you're talking to somebody who's still new, who happens that they're in your upline, they can't help you. Go after guys, you know, people who can help you. You know, the Lucys and the Mayowas and those type of people who are, and you, all of you, because this is a binary system, all of you, every single one of you, all of you, I said it enough time, all of you, every one of you have major leaders in your My5, including Ambassador Reza, who is a top millionaire. He is your upline. So you want to make sure that he is part of your plan. You go on Facebook, you send him a note, hey, Reza, you know, I'm in Nigeria, just came into, can you tell me your story? Put yourself on his map. If you find out where Ambassador Razak or Hoa, Comfort, of course, is above everybody, so she has to be part of your My5 because she's above everybody. She's the reason why Nigeria is in business, and we thank her for that, and you should thank her for that. So at the end of the day, make sure whoever your My5 is, that you're qualified. The word is qualified upline.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramil.
Anyone else?
Yes, I would encourage us to type our questions to save time. So while you type yours, I will just read those that I have here. I have from Christine Nike. She said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you very much for sharing your vision with us, Ramil." Also from Safia, um, she says, "Thank you, Ramil. Can we have a teaser of what to expect for ambassadors in phase 5?"
Hey, listen, yeah, you got to get there because first of all, it's not one thing. We're looking at about, I think, there's probably going to be overall about 20 different type of announcements. Some of them are just minor adjustments, some of them are big. But I did give you a teaser, and that is get to ambassador. If you're already there, good for you. Good for you. I think you should be focusing now for your regional ambassador. But if you're not there, get to ambassador because it's easy to do. We just had one lady in Australia became ambassador challenge winner. She did it in 21 days. It's not a hard thing to do. You can get there, and many of you have done that already, even in Nigeria. So, but even if you don't, if you're not as an ambassador level by July 9th, which is our phase 5, it doesn't matter because the announcement happens on phase 5, but it's a program that's going to be ongoing. It's not a, you're not going to miss anything. So keep working towards ambassador because we're going to announce on July 9th what this thing is. And trust me, you don't want to, it's something you're not going to miss. It's an annual thing and you're not going to miss it. So you know, go ahead and might as well get it done now. And when you get it done, your people will see you did it and they're going to want to be there as well and they're going to do it as well.
CEO, July 9th. Okay, we're waiting. Okay, we also have from Vanisha Charles Jones. He says, Ramil, as if I did not have the right fire underneath me for the next 30 days, what timing, what reassurance, what passion. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very grateful for you and for all you do. And the next 10 years, we take my kids to becoming massive leaders for the generation. Thank you, Vanessa. Then from
Let me share something about Vanessa. This young lady, first of all, she's from St. Lucia, but it's good that she's on an African call because she knows where her roots came from, I guess. So it's really cool. Vernicia is a leader in St. Lucia. St. Lucia, outside Nigeria, St. Lucia is the only other country is beating Canada twice for first place and tied Canada 1 month. I gotta tell you what they did because we're coming to Nigeria soon. When we went to St. Lucia for the launch, official launch, and she had it in this double-decker stadium-like theater, and of course, and my ride was late, and I didn't know what to expect. So by the time we got there, was raining, and we went to this parking lot. There was no parking left. People were parked on trees. I'm telling you, that's wow. So I thought we were going to this massive place, and maybe there's multiple events going on at the same time. I didn't know it was just for GWT. I mean, St. Lucia is an island of 180,000 people. You heard right, 180,000 people, not 160 million like Nigeria. So we went in there, and I was so embarrassed because my ride was late, and I saw that the Governor General and her entourage, the police bikes with the blue lights, they all parked outside. She was waiting for me to come so she can walk in, and she waited there for about half an hour. I was so embarrassed. And anyway, so they took us in the back where the doors opened up, gates opened up. We went inside. They got out, and they escorted us on the front row. And who's sitting in the front row? You know, every minister you can think about, including the leader of the opposition, was there. You know, and all got up, shook my hand. Minister of Trade and Commerce, and I mean, she had a fashion show going. She had about 800 people that showed up for this opening in St. Lucia. And again, since we're talking about an island of 180,000 people, and she had 800 people plus packed up in this place. So congratulations, St. Lucia. And you know what? The only two countries that ever beat Canada are countries where black folks are. Passion you guys have is incredible. So if we can, you have what it takes to blow this up. What we need to keep in is constant education because it's new to these markets. These are traditionally non-MLM markets. So once we educate our people that it is a business, it's not a recruiting game. It's a business. It's not something you try. It's a business. It's not something I'll see what happens. It's a business. It's not an investment. Because although the products could be considered investment, but no, the business side of it has to be operated like a McDonald's franchise. You can't, you know, you buy a McDonald's franchise, you don't open the door, you just lost $2 million. It doesn't do anything for you. It's a business. Once we teach that part to these countries, which are traditionally non-MLM countries, man, you folks have proven it. The passion that comes out of the black countries is unbelievable. I look forward to coming down to Nigeria and see what all the leaders from Ambassador Comfort and down, amazing job you guys have done. So just want to share that story.
Thank you, Ramin, and we are waiting for you. There's another question from Felix Madiasi. He says, is it possible to pay an outstanding IA for the past 6 months to make up the unpaid months?
Okay. It's a sensitive topic, and the standard answer would be no, because obviously that's, you know, we want people to be responsible to be able to maintain the business. But we understand not just Nigeria. Actually, you guys are in pretty good shape. We do have some islands, and we even got some countries like Brazil, and where money transfer is a real issue. It's not just so because of that, we're sensitive to that. So my unofficial answer to you is contact Jonathan. He's excellent for these things. He knows what he can and cannot do, and he'll take care of you. But what you don't want is a culture that, well, if I'm late, I'm late, so what? Because that's just not going to happen. And once the volume flushes, it's very difficult to put it back. So my unofficial answer, and I shouldn't even be saying this on the conference call, my unofficial answer is call Jonathan and see what he can do for you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ramil. There's another comment from Innocent Ozag. He says, you talked about coming up with some changes to the comp plan. What are they, please?
Well, if I told you that now, then we wouldn't have a phase 5. Good try, Innocent. Good try. Anyway, nothing to worry about. Every decision I make always makes our people money, so it's all good.
Okay. Kevin says, I'm amazed on how well of a system this business is. Amazing call. I do look up to you and follow you in your steps to success. My question for you, Ramin, is are you launching phase 5? However, how do you plan to close out on this?
I'm not sure what the question is. Yes, phase 5, the forensic weekend, the forensic network weekend. I know some people are confused about that. It is a 2-day forensic seminar, but we're using that seminar to launch our phase 5. So once the second day the forensic seminar ends, it's a 2-day seminar, we're going to allocate 1 hour to phase 5 announcements. This is how I usually do it at conventions. So in 1 hour in the PowerPoint, we're going to do the phase 5 announcements, and we'll tell you at that time when, because not everything is going to be released instantly. We're announcing it, and then they're going to be released in stages.
All right. From Ruth Emmanuel, Ruth says, please can you throw more light on the volume? I guess she means volume points and all that.
Okay, those are the type of trainings that you really need to get from your My5. It's simple stuff. We have videos for them online. They're not really, so it's not the best use of our time right now.
Yeah.
So which I'm sure it's late down there, but everything you want, go to our YouTube channel. It's Global Wealth Trade. Go to YouTube, Global Wealth Trade. Now you're going to see a whole bunch of other videos that show up. Don't worry about those. Click on the Global Wealth Trade logo. I will take you to our YouTube channel. On that, there's about 50, 60 videos, and they are separated by category: fashion show, training, conference calls, forensic networker. So everything you want is on there. Of course, utilize your My5 because you guys are blessed in Nigeria. You have some very, very, very strong My5 where you're at.
Okay. Thanks, Mr. Ramil. From Mark Felix, he says, thank you, Ramil, and to you too, Sherry. My question is, when you want to upgrade from regular package with people, where exactly are you gonna be the regular of the package?
Again, you're asking compensation plan questions. It's not a good time for it because you do have uplines that you could utilize for this. And again, if your personal upline, if your immediate upline doesn't know the answer, go up. Remember, My5 is your qualified uplines. Qualified. So, and I know you have them in Nigeria, and they can answer these type of questions for you. Also, by the way, in your back office, there's a bunch of videos as well for you to log in. Of course, we got the YouTube channel.
Okay. Trying to check for more questions. Most of them here are compliments and appreciations.
Let me put you on check. You guys have been enjoying first place for too long. Let me put you on check. I mean, first of all, congratulations. I mean, I've given you guys enough accolades and enough global recognition for what you have done. But your next door neighbor, South Africa, watch out for them. They're coming in. I know Australia already declared to the world that watch out, Nigeria, we're coming for you. That's Australia. But your next door neighbor, South Africa, there's a big boom about to happen very, very, very soon. And then perhaps the next few days, maybe in the week, next week, it's basically a whole company switching over. So you're going to have, obviously, it's great that we have this incredible nucleus happening, and there's always excitement and momentum when you have different markets booming, which means now you can take advantage of South Africa as well, because obviously if there is local systems in place like there is in Nigeria, then you can start calling people and get them on and start expanding out Nigeria to different parts of of Africa and the world. So again, yeah, we have a new group that's saying, hey, we've been watching Nigeria for a while. They've enjoyed this too much. So I think it's time for us to give them some challenge. So it's all good. It's just incredible friendly competition that we have, and put our hands together, and we're all going to go to the billion. I'm going to finish with this. Water is weak, but when it's gathered, it can destroy a city. That's what we're doing, one LC at a time. Thank you very much. My great ones walked into the room and says, okay, I've been very, very patient. Your hour's up, and I want to go for a Lambo ride. Yes, say hello to my Nigeria team and family. Nice and loud.
Hi.
To the billion.
Hi, you great one.
Thank you so much.
Cyrus says to the billion. All right, team. Thank you very much. I know it's late over there. Good night, and let's do this again soon. I look forward to seeing you guys in a few months.
Thank you, Mr.
Enjoy, great one.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. That was our amazing CEO closing the call with a bang, and his amazing son, the great one. I'd like to thank every one of you for making out time to join this call. I know definitely you have been revved up to take your business to the next level. Remember, GWT, we are the Apple of the MLM industry, and we are so ready, so revved up, so excited. We are moving it, and there's no stopping us. We're going to the billion. Thank you so much for your time. We'll be on call again on Tuesday for the fast track. You don't want to miss that also. Ensure you get all your team together. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night rest. To the billion.